आनन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतलेश्वरी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेषणवादी पाश्चात्य वाचालं वन्दे देवीं यत्कृपादमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। ओम तत्सत्। हरे कृष्ण। So we will continue our journey of the nectar of instruction, a very beautiful journey. We are actually so very fortunate that the very long and arduous path of self-realization has been made so easy by the acharyas, by putting so many signboards along the way. Like when we go on a journey, especially a long one, sometimes we are unsure whether I should go left or right, and then we expect that there should be a signboard. Otherwise, accidentally take the wrong one, you go somewhere else, you need to come all the way back. But those who have traversed their path all the way back to Godhead are so kind that they have left behind the boat that they used to cross this ocean. You understand this term? In the Bhagavad, in the Srimad Bhagavad, there is a very beautiful verse. Please come. In the Srimad Bhagavad, there is a very beautiful verse. You can keep a chair next to your mother. Sit next to you. Anywhere. Sham, just darwaza dekha. In the Srimad Bhagavad, there is a beautiful verse. I do not recollect the exact Sanskrit of the verse, but the verse essentially says that the great souls who have crossed over the ocean of material existence, they are so kind that even though they have taken the boat and they have crossed, because to cross over you have to take a boat, right? They have crossed over the boat. The amazing thing is, even though they have crossed over the ocean of material existence taking a boat, they are so kind that they have left the boat behind for others to cross over. Do you understand? But materially it is not possible, right? If you have already crossed over to the other side, how can you bring the boat back to this side? Unless you ride back. But the acharyas have given the boat to cross over the ocean of material existence. So what exactly is that boat? That boat actually is their detailed instructions on how to cross the ocean. So the great souls have written many books, and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being extremely compassionate, on all living entities in this world, especially instructed his closest disciples amongst the six Goswamis, especially Rup, Sanatan and Jiva, to write spiritual literature, to guide living entities in this world on how they can actually transcend the dukkhalayam ashashvatam, the miseries of this world, and achieve the parampadam. So, the Nectar of Instruction is one such work. The Nectar of Instruction was written based on the direct instructions of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Upadeshamrut and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And these two are amongst the most popular works. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had specifically instructed Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami with these services. Sanatana Goswami wrote Hari Bhakti Vilas. This is a very detailed treatise on Hari Bhakti. You have heard this term, Hari Bhakti Vilas? Yes? It's a very famous book, Hari Bhakti Vilas. So Hari Bhakti Vilas, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Upadeshamrita. These are considered like the standard reference textbooks for the Bhakta. And Nectar of Instruction is the basic guidelines. What does basic guidelines mean? When you're learning driving, there are certain basic things you're told. Who learned driving recently? Or who can drive? So what were you taught in driving school? What are the first few instructions that they give? Yes, Shyam wants to answer, yes. Okay, use the seat belt. Okay, which means you have to be very careful. Okay, good. What else? You have to be very careful. So Rupa Goswami is also giving how to be careful. Don't associate too much with materialistic people, otherwise there will be accident. Correct? Don't associate too closely. Don't be too greedy for material attainments. Also dangerous. So he is giving his warning. Now what else is he saying? It's okay, sir. No. What is your name? Huh? Sai? Arvind? Garvit. You okay? You happy? So, no problem. Huh? Just don't show your feet towards the Lord. Okay? Fine? So, what else? The first thing the driver tells is, hey, hold the handle straight, keep in the lane. You know, one of the main reasons accident happens is one doesn't keep to the lane. I remember when I started, slowly hold it, slowly the car will move into another lane, correct? Then, you know, he will quickly hold the handle and turn and make you lane, keep to the lane. So this is a very basic instruction of driving. Keep to the lane. Keep to the lane means whatever path and instructions you have been given, just follow them properly. Don't stray from the path. Tat tat karma pravartana. Yes? Observe the experienced drivers, how they drive. So you will tell, see, I am driving now, you see how I give the signal, when I do this. So we need association of duties. So I am just giving this comparison so we understand that these are the very, very basic instructions to associate. These are not very high esoteric instructions. Anyone who is serious about spiritual advancement must start with Nectar of Instruction. That's how we have started. Importance of association, how to associate, what are the 6 things which will increase your bhakti, what are the 6 things which will decrease your bhakti, how to deal with devotees, what are the different levels of devotees, how to deal with devotees at different levels, whom to show respect, whom to serve, whom to offer, whom to discuss and take instructions from. These are all basic instructions. Correct? You agree? Sometimes we think, oh, this is very high book. No, this is first primer. When you join any institution, they first give you the rule book of the institution, like the rule book of driving. It's a very, very basic instruction. Yeah. So now he has covered most of the basic thing. Now he is going a bit higher towards the end, because while we are driving, the goal is not just driving. The goal is we want to reach a destination. Correct? When are we excited to drive? When we want to go towards a destination, right? If I tell you just drive and go just round and round and round this block, what is the point? I waste petrol and I get nowhere. But if I give a destination, let us go to this resort in Cameron Highlands, so beautiful. Have a good time. Then as we are moving ahead, we are being impelled by the desire to achieve a particular goal. So Rupa Goswami wants to describe this goal in more greater detail and clarity, because very, very important. Just like if somebody wants to go to Penang, if you tell him, come and meet me in Penang, is that enough information? Okay, right? Is there enough information? Enough? Huh? Time? Okay, time. What else? You need the exact place in Penang, no? So we should know exactly where. Nowadays people just tell, they don't even describe anything. Give me the pinpoint Google Map location. Drop a pin and share the location. I don't know any confusion. Near this hotel, behind this, that. Exact location you give. So some people say, become spiritual, become free, become liberated, become like God, or whatever else they say. Because they don't tell within the spiritual realm what exactly is the destination we are aspiring for. But the bhakta, for the bhakta, the destination has to be very, very precise. Because you cannot love and surrender to something hazy. You can be detached in haziness, but you cannot be attached in haziness. You understand? So the impersonalists are detached, but they cannot be attached. Because there is haziness, there is only effulgence all over. And if you actually want to be attached to transcendence, it must be very clear. Because within transcendence, there are so many levels of transcendental manifestation. You understand? If you don't understand, it's okay, because we are going to go to the verses. Then it will become more clear. Ram? Pardon. Okay. So let's move on ahead in our journey. The last verse we discussed was verse 7, that in this path, the main thing you have to keep in mind, in the spiritual path, the main thing you have to keep in mind is what he has given in verse number 8. This is for bhaktas, especially those who are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is the single pointed goal? Text 8. The essence of all advice, essence, sar, of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time, 24 hours a day, if possible, in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities and eternal pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. You understand so far? Which means always be engaged in remembering and chanting the Lord's name, form, qualities and pastime. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. You should always remember these four things. Nama, Rupa, Guna and Leela. We begin with the Nama. When we chant the Nama, slowly the Rupa will be remembered. When we remember the Rupa, the Guna will be remembered. And when the Guna is remembered along with the Nama, Rupa, then the Leela becomes manifest. So that's a gradual progression. So it must always be absorbed somehow or the other, beginning with the tongue and ultimately absorbing the mind in these four activities. In this way, one should reside in Vraja, which is Goloka Vrindavan, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. So he's talking about the goal. What is the goal? The goal is to go to the spiritual world, not just here and there, but very specifically to Goloka Vrindavan. Why Goloka Vrindavan? Because that is where Krishna resides. If you go to another Vaikuntha planet, you will not find Krishna. You may be in the spiritual realm. Yes. So he is giving slowly zooming into the address. Go to Goloka Vrindavan. And when you go there, what you should do? How can you connect to Krishna? You should serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. It's not possible even for perfected souls to directly go and approach Krishna. You have to be trained by those who are very close to Krishna. So he says, one should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. Deeply attached to serving him. Who is the most deeply attached to serving Krishna? Radharani. Then there are other either Sakhis or Manjaris who are assisting her. They are extremely deeply attached. So in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the aspiration of all devotees is to become one of the assistants to these dear devotees. Because they are very exalted. Then now, since he is hinted at Goloka Vrindavan, Braja, he is now gradually describing in the spiritual world what are the different levels of attainment. Okay? Just like I say, my address. If somebody says, where are you staying? You're in Malaysia. I say, I'm in Malaysia, yes. Where are you in Malaysia? I'm in Kuala Lumpur. Oh, in Malaysia you're in Kuala Lumpur. Now I know better where you are. Where in Kuala Lumpur? Oh, in Brickfields. Oh, Brickfields. Where in Brickfields? Pines Condominium. I know. Okay. Now I know where I should come and find you. Yeah? So precise. So now, Rupa Goswami is describing the holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Mathura, within the spiritual realm, where there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, amongst them Mathura is extremely special. Why? Because Krishna personally was born in Mathura. So it's very special. What that means is, higher than Vaikuntha is Mathura. Of course, needless to say that higher than Brahmajyoti is Vaikuntha. But higher than Vaikuntha is Mathura. Superior to Mathura is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan because of Krishna's Ras Leela pastimes. Higher than that is Vrindavan. That's why we want to go to Vrindavan. Go to Mathura, but we are more interested in Vrindavan. Why? Because there Radha and Krishna perform the Ras Leela. Under which tree? Karshan Venu Swaner Gopir Gopinatha Shriyastana. What is that verse beginning? Bamsi Vata. Under Bamsi Vata. Yes, that tree is very close to Krishna Balram temple, not very far. Very close to the bank of the Yamuna river. The Bamsi Vata, the Rasasthali. That is where Krishna stood under that tree and he played his flute, the fifth note, and invited all the gopis to come. The highest pastime of spiritual interaction. Highest. Much higher than Brahman, much higher than Vaikuntha, much higher than Mathura. The topmost of the topmost Leela is Ras Leela. It is so top that it goes over the top for most people. You understand? When a subject is too highly elevated, people practically don't understand it. They sometimes think it is something crazy or it is something opposite of great or logical. Yeah. Same thing happens in material science. You start with Newtonian physics, you push, the object moves. Then you go into mechanics and so many other Newtonian mechanics laws. But when you slowly start going deeper and deeper and deeper into physics, you go so high into quantum mechanics that the laws and the way things behave there are actually counterintuitive. You understand? Counterintuitive means what you would normally expect, it is exactly opposite. Because at the highest level, at the beginning level, we say, I can exactly know the location of an object if I know how much force I applied and where it is now, what force is applied. I can calculate by laws of motion and figure out if it is here today, after 5 seconds it will be here. Correct? Yes, Shyam? But when you go deep inside the atom, into the electron level, deeply, then you say, I can never tell very accurately where the electron is. Then you start saying, I don't even know whether the particle of light is actually a wave or a particle. I don't even know what actually mass is. Is it just a probability or is there actually something existing? So when you go deep inside, so many things become counterintuitive. So Ras Leela is sometimes so over the top, and when we speak some of these things of relativistic mechanics or quantum mechanics, to a person who knows only ordinary physics, it sounds mind-boggling. For example, when I travel at the speed of the speed of light, time stops. You have heard this? Time stops. So everything freezes. You can live eternally if you can travel at the speed of light. This is the physical truth from a physics perspective. But it's practically counterintuitive, it doesn't make sense. But the problem is, to travel at the speed of light, you must have infinite energy because your mass will also become infinite. So all these things are very counterintuitive. Why I am mentioning this, sorry for a technical elaboration, but the point is to make us understand that when we go to very, very high levels of truth, like Ras Leela, it becomes counterintuitive because what we would normally expect, God and spirituality, at the highest level, God in the middle of the night dancing with so many girls, is counterintuitive as the highest expression of devotion. But it is. But it requires a lot of deep understanding to be able to appreciate it. So Ras Leela in Braj is the highest. But there is something higher. Higher than Vrindavan, even though Ras Leela happens there. So we thought we reached the end, but we haven't. What is higher? Let us read what. So Rupa Goswami is being very precise. He's saying, first enter spiritual world, but don't stop at Brahman. Don't even stop at Vaikuntha. Go to Mathura, but don't stop at Mathura. Go to Vrindavan, but don't stop at Vrindavan. And then where else to go? He says, superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill. For it was raised by the divine hand of Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. Govardhan Hill is even more special than Vrindavan because a lot of beautiful, intimate pastimes of the Lord happen in the area of Govardhan Hill. But that is also not the end. Within Govardhan Hill, there is one very specific place, probably roughly half the size of this condominium. Roughly, maybe. Or maybe the size of this condominium, I don't know. Around there, externally. I'm talking in today's term. I mean, of course, it is not a material place. So in that sense, it would be wrong to compare from material dimension, but I'm talking how it appears physically today. Because this place you can go to today, if you want to. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radha Kunda stands supreme, for it is over flooded with the ambrosial nectarian prem of the Lord of Gokul, Sri Krishna. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radha Kund, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? At Govardhan Hill, at the foot of Govardhan Hill, this Radha Kund is there. Just very briefly, because Radha Kund is a very elaborate topic, actually meant for very elevated souls, but just to understand, Radha Kund is a place where every day Radha and Krishna meet and they have very beautiful sweet pastime, very sweet pastimes. Even sweeter than the Ras Leela. So he says, the highest and the most supreme place is Radha Kund. We'll read next verse. In the Shastra, it is said that of all types of fruitive workers means those who are performing punya for a material benefit. He who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. Higher than simply doing good punya is those who are in spiritual knowledge. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, the jnanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge, may take to devotional service. So taking to bhakti in its true form is very rare. It is taken only by those people who have actually become liberated by becoming realized in the knowledge of the Supreme. He is superior to others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental cowherd boy. There will be so many devotees, great devotees, but out of all the devotees, the gopis are the highest. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. Again, they are giving levels. People who are just doing punya, higher than them are those who are doing jnana. Higher than the jnanis are those who are actually mukta. But one who is truly mukta becomes a bhakta. And amongst the bhaktas, the gopis are the highest. And amongst the gopis, Radharani is the highest. And what is Radharani's favorite place where she spends most of her time with Krishna? Radhakund. So please go there. Her kund is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. So as much as Krishna loves Radharani, he loves her lake. Interesting, huh? Who then will not reside at Radha Kund and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings render loving service to the divine couple Sri Radha Govinda to perform their Ashtakaliya Leela, their eternal eightfold divine daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radha Kund are the most fortunate people in the universe. So what is the place to be? At Radha Kund, at the bank of Govardhan Hill. But be there and do what? Not to go there and just sleep and eat. I went to Vrindavan and I ate chole bhature and came back. We are not going there to eat chole bhature. I mean, we can eat chole bhature also, but that is not why we went. We went there because we want to serve Radha and Krishna at Radha Kund. They are eternally there. Even if we go now, they are there. The problem is we can't see them until our eyes are full of pure devotion. But it is suggested for sadhakas, those who are serious, to stay there under the advice of the spiritual master and render service there, so that one day they can actually see Radha and Krishna and engage in their service. The last verse of Nectar of Instruction. There are only 11 shlokas. Of the many objects of favor, delight of all the lovable damsels of Rajbhumi, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most treasured object of Krishna's love. So he is saying there is no doubt that in Krishna's eyes, Radharani is topmost. No need to debate. Okay, whether it's Radharani or somebody else or this or maybe I am better. No need for any confusion. Krishna's favorite object is Radharani because Radharani is not just a devotee. She is his own personal energy. The one truth has become two. The Supreme Lord has become two, Radha and Krishna. So they are inseparable, they are so deeply connected because they are in essence the one truth becoming two. And in every respect, Goswami repeats this, her divine kund is described by great sages as similarly dear to him. Undoubtedly, Radha Kund is very rarely attained even by the great devotees. Okay, so he is also warning you. So this is not some cheap tourist destination that you can just book a holiday and go there. The Radha Kund, to achieve service of Radha and Krishna at Radha Kund is difficult even for the great devotees. So what to speak? It is saying, therefore it is even more difficult for ordinary devotees to attain. And this Radha Kund is so glorious that if one simply bathes once within those holy waters, one's pure love of Krishna is fully aroused. Takes a dip in Radha Kund, comes out one becomes pure devotee. That is the glory of Radha Kund. Of course, these topics are very, very high. So, we cannot fully understand or appreciate this. But the summary of what we want all of you to take away from this is, what is our final goal? Are we clear? Our final goal for those who are bhaktas who want the highest level of bhakti is to want to serve Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world of Goloka, specifically at the bank of Govardhan, at the bank of Radhakund at Govardhan Hill. That is the highest. That's what Rupa Goswami said. And to attain that is very easy. It is very difficult even for great devotees. Then should we give up? No need. But if we are connected to very great devotees who are already from Radhakund, then very easily they can bring us there. Because they are already there, right? If you want to come into Pines and you don't have a unit in Pines, how can you come in? You must know somebody in Pines who will invite you to his house, right? Simple, no? Correct? Similarly, you cannot enter into Radhakund, but if somebody is already at Radhakund who has attained that state, if you become his servant, he will admit you. So that is the secret. That's why it is said, the essence of all advice is to be worshipping Radha and Krishna under the guidance of such devotees. And how do you begin the process? By always hearing, chanting and remembering the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila of Bhagavan. So if you keep doing this under the guidance of great devotees, then by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that destination which was very, very, very difficult to achieve, like what Rupa Goswami is saying here, becomes approachable by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and the mercy of Rupa Goswami. You know why? Because Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna themselves. And he is only coming and saying, come and join my Leela, come and join my Leela. So he is giving the mercy. But more than that, you know why? It is very accessible. You know who's Rupa Goswami? Rupa Goswami is in the spiritual world Rupa Manjari. She is the most closest assistant Manjari to Srimati Radharani. So she is very, 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 very close. She is always engaged in serving Radha and Krishna at Radhakund, assisting them. So she is giving us this book. She is telling us, I am already there, you follow me. I will bring you there. I am giving you instructions. You follow this GPS or whatever I am telling you, I will let you into that place which is most difficult to attain even for great devotees. We are talking about Radhakund, right? Radhakund is higher than Govardhan. Govardhan is higher than Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, in the Ras Leela, even Lord Shiva was not allowed. Just to give you an idea, when he says even great devotees cannot come inside. So do you think we can just pack bag, buy ticket and go to? It's not so easy. So the way to enter there is by becoming a servant of one of the residents who is already there. You understand? That is the secret. Yes? Yes. If you want to stay in a huge palace, but you cannot afford to buy that palace, then how else can you stay in the palace? You can become a servant to somebody who is staying in the palace. Yes, easier, no? Stay in the same palace, eat the same food. You may think, oh, I don't want to be servant. I want to be the master. And that's the exact reason why we are still here, because we want to be the master. But in the spiritual world, only Radha and Krishna are the master. But the beauty is, serving Radha and Krishna is not trouble, it is the greatest joy. It is the most beautiful experience. What to speak of serving Krishna, even just taking his name is full of pleasure. Even seeing his beautiful transcendental form gives so much pleasure to the devotees. In the scriptures it is described, the books that Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami have written, the way they are describing, it's like just seeing Krishna every morning when Krishna comes out of his house, dressed nicely by Mother Yashoda with beautiful jewels, clothes with his curly black hair, with the flute tucked on one side, with the bugle hall on the other side, putting one hand around his friends, and strolls out along with the cows, going towards the forest of Braja. Just that scene is like a festival for the eyes. It's a festival. It is so beautiful. You can be immersed for eternity in that one scene. For eternity. And still not be able to fully fathom the beauty and the sweetness. You understand? Don't say yes because you cannot understand. I'm just joking, I'm just pulling your legs. Of course, I also cannot understand. But we know that the acharyas are describing this. But we can understand to some level, but we cannot fully appreciate. That's why Rupa Goswami says, I feel like I should have millions of ears and millions of tongues and millions of eyes. Because Krishna's beauty I cannot even absorb with these blunt senses. I cannot chant Krishna's name enough to taste the full sweetness. I cannot hear Krishna's name enough because I have only 2 ears. Do we feel like that? Not yet, right? Because we are still having the jaundice of avidya. But when we come to that state, we will feel, I want to take in more and more and more. So Krishna is so beautiful. He is like a ever fresh, ever new, super mega festival. Just Krishna himself. What to speak when he is with his devotees and performing beautiful pastimes. That is super duper. So the devotees are always aspiring to participate in this unending festival that is happening between Krishna and his devotees by becoming a servant in that festival. You understand? By entering. And when we become a servant in that festival, whoever is the servant of Krishna, servant Krishna accepts them. Oh, they are my family. He doesn't treat them as servant. He treats them as family. So even though you may be servant Krishna, who is this? Oh, I see Ram is here. He is serving Rupa Manjari. Oh, Ram, so nice you have come. Krishna will be so happy. And Krishna will affectionately give his Mahaprasad. He says, yes, Ram, this is specially for you. So Krishna is very, very kind, very merciful. So there is no greater experience of spiritual realization than that. We may think this is very trivial. What is this? Krishna ate one laddu, give half. What's the big deal? No. It's a very, 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 very big deal. Okay? The problem is we cannot appreciate it enough because we are still very conditioned and contaminated. We always try to measure achievement and happiness based on how highly we are positioned and how much we can control others. But the experience of true spiritual bliss is actually quite the contrary. So as we get purified in devotional service, we will gradually be able to appreciate this point and our perspective will gradually change. That joy is in serving the Lord and His devotees, not in becoming great. So we'll stop here. Oh, not even 5 yet. Wonderful. So we will take any questions or comments. This is very, very high, but the goal must be clear. I want to serve Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan under the guidance of those who are his personal associates. So the self-realized spiritual masters in the line of Lord Chaitanya, Rupa Goswami and their disciples, all the way to Prabhupada, they are all Radhakund residents. They are all from there. They are all from there. That's why they say, you just follow what I am telling you. Then wherever I am going, you will follow me. Correct? You just tag along like a baggage, right? Baggage has to just tag along with the passenger. The baggage reaches the same destination. or the servant has to just tag along, which is the same destination as the master. That is why the scripture says, whoever you serve with your full heart, whatever destination that person reaches, you also reach. That's why traditionally in our Vedic culture also it was said, if a lady wants to achieve spiritual perfection, the easiest way for a lady to achieve spiritual perfection is what? Is to devotedly serve her husband, especially if the husband is a very advanced spiritualist. Correct? Because wherever the husband will go, the wife will automatically go. She will tag along. So he achieves supreme destination, she will also go with him. And that is the trick. Same thing Krishna says, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. Those who worship the Devas very nicely, perfectly, will go to the place where the Devas reside. Pitrun Yanti Pitrvrataha. Bhutan Yanti Bhutejo. Bhakta Yanti. Those who worship the ghosts, they will go to where the ghosts are. Those who worship the Devatas, achieve the Devas. But those who worship me, Krishna says. But worshipping Krishna directly is not so easy. Easier is to tag to Krishna's family members. Those are already from there. How to tag to people who are already there because they are there? How to tag to them? They are so kind, they come here so that we can tag to them. Yes, that is why the Lord sends His very dear associates to the earth again and again to gather conditioned souls, to give them an opportunity to connect and take back. Understand? Okay. So when we get that opportunity, we should consider ourselves very, 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 very fortunate. Because out of trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of living entities, very, 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 very small number get even a chance for this. And after getting a chance and opportunity for this, if we throw it away foolishly, then there cannot be anybody more unfortunate. Okay, anyway, any other questions? Any questions, any comments? Yes,
Maybe not related to this class, just one question which I had for a few days. Like it is said that during these special days, like Ekadashi or Janmashtami, where we should be observing fast, and that pleases the Lord. So what does it pleases the Lord that somebody is taking an austerity of doing the fast? And how is it pleasing to the Lord? And somebody is actually giving more weight to the body of the mind.
very good question. My mother used to tell me this all the time when I started following devotional service. Oh, why does God like you paining your body? What kind of God? And it sounds very nice. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. We have to understand what is the basis of upavas. Fasting, the spiritual word is upavas. What is the meaning of upavas? Vas means to stay. Upa means near. So upavas means not to stay near the Lord. What does staying near the Lord mean? It means on that day I want to be always near the Lord. If you want to always be near the Lord, don't be busy with activities which are taking you away from the Lord. What are those activities? Typically activities related to maintaining and enjoying the body. So at one level, this is the answer. At one level. So the idea is minimize your bodily needs. But some people may say, no, that is okay. But then what if my body is being pained? And what is the advancement that I achieve by torturing the body? Let's try to answer that. So this part we understand, right? Why we should abstain. So we should understand when we do tapaha, austerity, tapaha. Tapaha means What does austerity mean? Austerity means to do things which are favorable for spiritual advancement even if I don't like it, and to not do things which are unfavorable to spiritual life even if I like it. So the normal thinking is, oh, this is painful. But not all pain results in negative results. Why we think like that? Even in this material world, is it that all pain is considered bad? Is it? You ask a person who is bodybuilding, tell him, don't pain your body. Be very gentle. Remove all the weight, just take the bar. Because at the end you just have to move it like this. Huh? Yes? And he will keep moving it like this. And he will remain there only, nothing will happen to him. Why?
There is no pain, no gain.
It is the pain of the resistance which is causing growth. You understand? You study hard, you're going through the pain, you're pushing your limits. Why? So that your capacity increases. When do you push the limit? When you push a limit, when you push yourself against the comfort zone, what are you essentially doing? You are increasing your capacity, isn't it? In any field. Whether it's abstaining from food, or more study, or more exercise, more stamina, whatever you are doing, isn't it? And when you go outside your comfort zone, there is always going to be pain. But that pain gives the positive result of increasing your capacity. Correct? Do you agree? Yes? So when we say no to sense enjoyment, no to our habitual desire to eat, sleep, mate and defend, we are increasing, even though it is painful, we are increasing our capacity to say no to sense enjoyment. We are increasing our determination to say yes to Krishna and no to Maya. You understand? Of course it will be painful. If it was comfortable, then we wouldn't move from where we are. What do you expect? You say, I want to become PhD, but I don't want any pain. I want very comfortable. I will hold the book in my hand and I will gently turn the pages. But I don't want any strain to my head. It's painful. I don't want any strain. I want all the problems to be very simple, to easily flow. You remain in KG only better. You don't study anything beyond that. Correct? Because unless you strain your intelligence, you will not get deeper. You have to struggle with the problems, you have to struggle with the concepts. You grow in your understanding. Then you grow, you can tackle more. But then there is something higher. You tackle with it, you become more, isn't it? That's how the whole system is. In all areas. So people do not understand that when we are saying no, we are actually increasing that tapa of saying no, even though painful, is increasing the determination. First, it is increasing detachment. Second, it is increasing our determination to practice spiritual life. By increasing our capacity to say yes to Krishna and no to Maya. Does it make sense? Okay. I'm understood? So, the problem with people is people will apply this logic only in this. Correct? I'll tell you one example. People complain, oh, so many people are standing in a line outside the temple. Oh, this is so bad, so long. Yes, sometimes people, so-called liberals, will make such comments. Oh, what is this useless waste of so much trouble standing? But when the line is tenfold outside a movie theatre or is tenfold outside a cricket stadium, then nobody is complaining. When somebody is willing to do an austerity to increase the spiritual life, people are not seeing the productivity there. But they are okay with this. Here people are indulging in austerity for something negative, which means after that austerity, not that they are going to go higher. They are just expressing their austerity to indulge in something which is purely material. You understand? It is exactly opposite. Here people are going through austerity to see Lord Venkateshwara. They are willing to stand 4 hours in line for a 5-second darshan. People may think that is foolish. No. The benefit that you are getting is not just during the 4 seconds of darshan. The benefit is across the 4 hours that you are waiting for the darshan in anticipation. That tapa is a sadhana which is evolving you. People don't understand. Oh, why for 4 seconds? I can just go and see and come. Do you think the person who will just go, the chief minister or whoever will just go and quickly see and come in 4 seconds, do you think he'll get the same benefit as the person who has continuously meditated in anticipation, waiting to see the Lord, and that 4 seconds with intense desire has absorbed the darshan and prayed with his heart? Correct? You understand? It's a very different experience. So we should not think that just because I get something easily means I got something better. That's why God doesn't give everything so easily to us. We wouldn't be able to appreciate. Okay? Any other question? Shalini, you want to go to Radhakund? Shalini has taken bath in Radhakund. Yes? So she's guaranteed she's going back to the spiritual world. Shyam and Rama has also taken. Shyam, Ram, you have taken bath in Radhakund? Shyam has also taken bath in Radhakund. So those who have taken bath in Radhakund are guaranteed. Go back soon. Okay, so we will stop here. We will kirtan for a few minutes. You can. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishaya Karunitaye Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanami Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishaya Karunitaye Shri Radha